afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Live at 4. Mark is off for the rest of the week. Danica Lewis is filling in today. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here.
You enjoying the summer hanging on?
You know what? I was over the humidity, but today's not so bad.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to fall, but
I know.
You know, we should just be grateful
Right?
for what we're having right now.
Exactly. Soak in the sun while we can.
That's true. We'll get more on the weather in just a little bit, but here's what's making news today. Madison city leaders want to reconsider bringing F-35s to the city.
City and county leaders are laying out a new plan to bring bus rapid transit service to the area. We'll tell you what that could mean for your commute.
And the U.S. and Saudi Arabian officials say Iran was behind an attack on Saudi oil facilities. We'll have the latest on that from Washington. Let's take a look outside today. As Danica was mentioning, bright sunshine. Wow, still out on the lake.
Still boat weather.
This is the time of the year when people start putting their boats in storage for the winter, but not yet.
Guess not.
Savor all of these days. Well, the weather words, I think I forgot to put the weather words. See, when Mark goes on vacation, it all falls apart. Sorry about that. Dana Fulton, is it Dana? No, see, there she is. Hi, Dana.
Me.
Sorry about that.
It's the blonde brigade today, Dana.
It is. There's a lot of blonde on the air right now. So we actually, our weather words, some rain on the way again. If you're hoping for this dry spell to just continue, unfortunately, as we look ahead to our overnight hours and tomorrow, the rain showers will be moving back. And here's a live look at Madison right now. No rain currently, but we do have some more clouds moving into the sky. That's after what so far has been a very sunny day. Our cloud coverage increasing through the overnight. Still pretty warm and humid outside. 81 in Madison and Mineral Point, 82 in Janesville right now, 81 also all the way up in Black River Falls. So a very warm trend for the next several hours. Dew points are near 70, so it's humid enough. You're certainly going to notice it. Our breeze coming from the south, about 17 miles per hour in Madison, so a bit of a breezy, warm and humid day. Our Doppler track is quiet in southern Wisconsin right now, but notice over towards Iowa, we already have some showers and thunderstorms pushing in. And they'll start to get a little closer as we head overnight. So we still have a few more hours of dry weather, but by after midnight and into tomorrow, the rain will really pick on up. Along the roads right now at the Beltline and Park Street to eastbound, already starting to slow down, especially on the left lane. Looking throughout southern Wisconsin, no major delays. Currently the eastbound side, though, those speeds down to about 30 miles per hour around Fish Hatch, and then starting to pick up once you get past John Nolan Drive. For 80 Sac and Sauk City, no major delays, but of course right there at Sauk City, you get reduced down to one lane heading into downtown right on over the river. So Janesville to the Beltline will take you 27 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and from Sun Prairie to downtown, 17 minutes. The wind is picking up. It feels like there's some showers on the way outside. But again, we still have the rest of the evening before we have any showers moving in.
All right. Thanks for the heads up, Dana.
Thank you, Dana. First at 4, after hearing hours of public comments, the Madison Common Council is asking the Air Force to reconsider bringing F-35 fighter jets to Madison.
An amended resolution asks that concerns about noise be addressed in particular, or the F-35s should be based somewhere else. Eric Franke joins us now with reaction today. Eric?
Yeah, Danica and Susan. Madison currently one of 5 finalists for the F-35. 2 preferred locations. It's one of them. Nearby residents, as we've mentioned, are worried about the noise. Most of those speaking last night were against the F-35, but there's also plenty of support for it. Important to note, this resolution that council passed does not just simply tell the Air Force to take the F-35 elsewhere. It's really about asking for more information and having the concerns of an environmental impact study addressed.
I think that we're sending a very clear message about how concerned we are as a city about the potential impacts of this project, but that we also really need more and better information.
Tammy Baldwin and Mark Pocan asked these questions very early on, and so it's not as if these questions haven't been asked, but yes, the City Council and the residents have every right to that information, and we expect the Air Force will give it to them.
Zach Brandon with the Chamber of Commerce says the F-35s would mean a preservation of about 1,200 jobs and $100 million of annual economic impact. Also add 64 new jobs with the F-35 and add 400 new construction jobs and $100 million of new construction work. Air Force officials have said the noise impact of the F-35 is very similar to the aging F-16s that are currently flying out of Truax. Their decision will come in February, and if approved, those new jets would come in a few years by 2023. Susan, Danica.
All right, Eric, thanks for the update.
Thank you, Eric. An update about a story from this morning. Firefighters say a restaurant on the west side is a complete loss after a fire this morning. Firefighters responded around 3:30 this morning to a fire at Cowboy Jack's on John Q. Hammond's Drive. That building used to also be Sprecker's restaurant. Firefighters still don't know the cause of the fire, but say the building did not have a sprinkler system.
A deadly car crash is under investigation on Madison's far west side. One person was killed. 2 others were injured after that crash around 1 o'clock this afternoon near Commerce Drive and Mineral Point Road. Madison police say a driver ran a red light and hit a car in the other direction. The crash is still under investigation. As the population of Dane County grows and traffic increases, Madison city officials are planning for the future. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway is unveiling her rapid transit plan called Metro Forward. The plan intends to improve access to buses with more routes and subsidized passes for families and riders in need. The mayor says rapid transit will also decrease travel times for bus riders up to 25%, with improvements including dedicated lanes and larger buses.
This is a top priority for my administration. Metro Forward is a critical investment in our transportation, our economy, and most importantly, in our community.
Metro Forward also aims to address racial disparities in travel times and combat climate change with a plan to have a full fleet of all-electric buses by 2023.
Switching gears now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is calling an attack on Saudi oil facilities an act of war. U.S. and Saudi officials have determined Iran was behind that attack, and now the allies are coordinating their response. Nicole Killian has more details from the White House.
The U.S. is taking its first action in response to a drone and missile strike on Saudi oil facilities this weekend. President Trump tweeted this morning, "I have just instructed the Secretary of the Treasury to substantially increase sanctions on the country of Iran." Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in Saudi Arabia soon after the kingdom's defense ministry held a press conference to unveil evidence of Iran's involvement in the attack.
I would like to assert the kingdom's capacity to defend its critical infrastructure.
Iran launched 24 drones and 9 cruise missiles flying low and at relatively slow speed to avoid Saudi air defenses. U.S. officials say experts on the ground in Saudi Arabia have examined pieces of the debris, identified the specific type of cruise missiles and drones, and determined they were made in Iran 100%, a senior administration official told CBS News.
Today's sanctions announcement does not rule out a possible U.S. military response, but General Joseph Dunford, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, says the president has not yet asked for any military options.
Senator Lindsey Graham says a military response is needed and pointed to Iran's attack on a U.S. drone this summer.
I think that is the most likely response from my point of view to restore deterrence. Clearly, when they shot down the drone, a measured response was seen as weakness.
Iran delivered a letter to the U.S. denying it is behind the attacks and warned it will immediately retaliate if the U.S. strikes. One option may be for the U.S. to back a military response from the Saudis, and Secretary Pompeo has been tasked with finding out how the kingdom would like to respond. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
The U.S. and Iran do not have diplomatic relations, so Iranians delivered the letter to the Swiss, who received it on America's behalf.
The political fate of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hangs in the balance. He's locked in a dead heat with his main challenger after Tuesday's election. Prime Minister Netanyahu and his main rival, retired Army Chief Benny Gantz, both failed to win enough seats for a majority in parliament. So there is now a scramble to form a coalition government, meaning political foes may have to join forces. If Israel's political parties can't find a way to unite, the deadlock could force another election in just a few months.
Wisconsin health officials are carefully monitoring as 2 more people have died of a rare mosquito-borne virus in Michigan. The state's dealing with its worst outbreak of the potentially deadly virus in more than a decade. There have been 7 confirmed human cases of the Eastern Equine Encephalitis, that is, or Triple E in Michigan. Now, 3 people have died from that virus, and now Michigan health officials are urging people in several counties to cancel or postpone outdoor events until the first frost. At least 20 cases have been reported in 5 states, including several in Rhode Island.
Human Triple E cases are on the rare side. We usually see between 7 and 10 human Triple E cases diagnosed in the United States for a year. So we've had 3 just in Rhode Island this year.
Now, symptoms of Triple E include fever, chills, muscle and joint pain, and it can cause inflammation and swelling in the brain. Earlier this fall, it was confirmed that a horse here in Wisconsin tested positive for Triple E.
More local news. Educators in Rock County say a new cell phone policy at Edgerton High School is making a difference. Starting this year, teachers and administrators have been cracking down on cell phone use while students are in class. Students can still use their phones at lunch and in between classes, but administrators say it's about maximizing the short amount of learning time that students do have.
We do need to maximize our instruction for those 44 minutes. So the more that we can keep them not just in class, but obviously engaged in the curriculum, engaged in the instruction during that 44 minutes can only help our process moving forward.
Students are encouraged to leave phones in their lockers or place them in a special pouch in the classroom. The village of Wanakee and the town of Westport are about to put strict rules in place to regulate short-term rentals like Airbnb.
Jamie Perez spent the day speaking with the board and police, and now we are joined by her. And Jamie, what's the reason for putting so many rules in place there?
Well, the Wanakee police chief and the village administrator said that they had a lot of concerns brought up to them from people who live near Airbnbs or rental homes, and a lot of them say that they've seen too many problems come up from the people who are renting them and that they wanted something done about it. Police say the town of Westport has had more issues than Wanakee, but both of them have neighbors saying there's too many noise concerns, safety concerns, people constantly coming in and out, wandering around at night, etc. So after several meetings where people in these communities and the rental home hosts were able to voice their concerns, the board ultimately approved putting in some new regulations.
Well, we've been hearing from other communities, checking with other law enforcement agencies, and this is problematic.
The village board saw that there was reason to enact rules to address the broader community concerns.
And over the weekend, the cops actually responded to a noise complaint at a rental home where cops found that the people who were renting it for the weekend threw a house party while the homeowners weren't there. The police chief said this is an example of why they want to put rules like this in place. Now, we did actually speak to the homeowners about how they feel about all of these new rules that are going to be put in place. So coming up tonight at 6, we will hear from them, their neighbors, and exactly what these new rules are.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Jamie.
Sure.
In Rock County, a mission to help rescue a turtle ended with a car in a river. First responders in Janesville say they responded to the Rock River around 11:30 this morning for reports of a car in the water. You're seeing it there. The car's owner says she was trying to release a turtle when she forgot to put the car in park. No one was hurt. Crews did spend the afternoon getting the car out of the river.
Well, there's more at 4. When we come back, you know how the saying goes. It's 5 o'clock somewhere,
It certainly is. Yeah, Madison Magazine takes a look at the trend of building your own bar cart, and they better hope I don't wheel it home. Andrea Baling shows us how when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
A warning from Consumer Reports says that a lot of the ratings that you see on Amazon could be misleading.
Amazon shoppers often decide to buy a product because it has a high number of stars. I know I've done it. Those stars are based on positive customer reviews and can earn a coveted Amazon Choice banner as well. But Consumer Reports says not all of those reviews are legitimate. We're talking about something called review hijacking here. A headphone jack adapter had 4 stars based on nearly 2,000 reviews, but most of the positive reviews were actually for a phone case or other products. The actual adapter received scathing comments warning other customers not to buy it.
Scrupulous sellers have figured out ways to exploit loopholes in the back end of Amazon.
CBS News contacted Amazon about the headphone jack adapter's reviews, and 2,000 dropped to just 106. The unrelated comments were gone along with the Amazon Choice rating. Amazon told CBS News if someone reports an issue, they will investigate it and take the appropriate actions. All right, it's one of those trends in home decor right now, creating your own bar cart.
It's a creative way to showcase ready-to-drink cocktails, and there are no rules. There's an article about this in this month's edition of Madison Magazine, and the managing editor, Andrea Bailing, is with us now. And dare I say, you brought the bar cart from your office?
Good work.
Did, yes. Yeah.
Don't we all need one of those?
Yeah, it being Wednesday today, I wish it was Friday.
Right.
But, so yeah, this is a couple of the things that we featured in our September issue. And it's kind of, we have 2 bar carts, and we got them both from Rewind Decor, which has amazing bar carts for not super expensive. They're affordable. But one bar cart is more like the at-home, they want just to open and pour. So these are all local products. Old-fashioned bourbon from Yahara Bay. Ale Asylum just came out with this hard seltzer, Stray.
Look at that beautiful can.
Yeah, all of these are awesome. Bourbon Smash from Plain Spoke Cocktails and a Refresh Radler from Wisconsin Brewing Co. So these are just pop them, pour them for your guests, and get on with your party.
So what do you use for the cart? Just anything that you want? Like a
You can get bar carts all over the place now, but honestly, Rewind Decor locally is one of the best places. Yeah, we should.
There you go.
Both of these were from Rewind Decor. They were both affordable, both beautiful, and he refurbished both of them. So he has a really good eye for finding these and bringing them back to life. So yeah, that left one was more casual, not the mixologist, at-home entertainer. And then the other side here, we feature a couple of other that you can make other cocktails with these that are a little more fancier. State Line Distillery and and this is from Wallershine.
So it's nice. You're featuring local products.
Yeah, yep. And then, other interest items that you can add to your bar cart. This is from Rewind Decor too. Cool ice bucket, glassware. This is a cool bottle opener from Fauerbach Brewery, which is the first Madison brewery to ever be. Yeah, so kind of conversation starters that would be really fun to have at your at-home party.
Now, I know the bar carts are kind of all over the place, but did you have to do a little digging and searching to find these items here, the ones with a little flavor?
Yeah, well, it's fun to, for me, I'm a person that likes to kind of look through things and, okay, this goes with that, and it's really fun to, a bar cart isn't just about, finding the right drinks for your party, but also what kind of feel do you want this bar cart to have? And it really kind of, I think, adds to the party experience.
So you do it for a party, but do people sometimes have a permanent bar cart in their, in their house?
Absolutely, yep. And you have a couple of key spirits that you would use to make cocktails, so you can offer a couple of options. These canned ones are nice that it's just, you give a ton of options and you just open it for them, but then others it's okay, I can have a sipping brandy for, some people, but then maybe other people want an after dinner cocktail that you can offer, so it's nice to have a couple options.
Super fun. It's a fun alternative to just kind of the liquor cabinet, right?
Definitely.
Or do it non-alcoholic as well.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. You can read all about it in this month's issue of Madison Magazine. Andy, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you
Thanks
guys.
so much.
Yeah, thanks. So there's more to come at 4, including a look at your first alert forecast.
And then coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 5, a group of people are protesting at the Capitol tonight in support of gun safety laws. Our Amy Reed will be live with their message to lawmakers coming up at 5.
All right, take a look at this. You are about to watch Minnesota 6-year-old Rylan on a balance board while controlling a ball with her hockey stick. Talented little gal there. Her balance control and skill just incredible. I can't even stay on, a rolly thing like that. The young lady's been playing hockey for the past 2 years and definitely has some slick stick handling skills. Besides controlling the puck, Rylan can control her shot, aiming for the top shelf targets and knocking them down with ease. You just saw there.
With the bow in the hair.
Very cool.
Now,
Yeah.
if you were watching Live at 4 yesterday, we showed a little boy doing this.
Yes.
So I don't know if this is starting to become
I think
a trend
new
now.
trend of, can you do it? Yeah.
Very
Still
cute.
very cool.
Very cool. No, just for the record, I'm not even going to try. No.
I've already broken one wrist.
Yeah, right.
A unique corn maze is attracting a lot of people to a farm in Portage County.
That's right.
This corn maze at Felix Dairy in Stevens Point is in the shape of the Culver's logo. It's nearly 10 acres long and was created using state-of-the-art planting technology. The farmers didn't have to cut down any corn this time. They were able to plant it exactly in that shape. No guarantees on if you get a Butterburger if you complete or not.
Right, exactly.
Thank you, farmers.
Right, very
that's
cool.
Really
very
nice.
cool.
Okay, so is it going to cool off anytime soon?
Yeah, corn mazes and pumpkins, and we're not even into fall yet, but it's close. Of course, first day of fall next week, and temperature-wise, it does feel like we're a little back in August, but we will be cooling down right in time for the first day of fall. But we'll take a closer look at your 10-day right after the break. Some clouds starting to build on, and now overall we've had a lot of sunshine today, but as you can see, not a lot of sun popping through right now, starting to become partly cloudy. Temperature-wise, we're in the low 80s with our dew points in the mid-60s, so it does feel a little humid outside, and that breeze at about 70 miles per hour in Madison, enough that you will certainly notice it coming from the south, so it's a lot of warm air moving in. Our Doppler radar's quiet for all of southern Wisconsin, but looking off to the west, there are some showers and thunderstorms popping up for us. We'll hold off until really after midnight before our rain chances move in. So enjoy this warm evening. The shower chances start to pop up tonight heading into Thursday morning. This is all in front of a cold front just off to the west. That's actually going to cause a little trouble over the next few days. Unfortunately, it's not just going to swing straight through. This front is actually going to drop south heading into Thursday and then lift back north as a warm front, bringing some unsettled shower patterns. With a chance for some showers Thursday afternoon and heading into Friday. That's going to keep us warm also for Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon. Another front will swing on through heading into the weekend, though, and that's what's finally going to clear us up and cool us on down later on Sunday. And heading into next week, it'll be a little more seasonable outside. So overnight, our shower chances really pick on up heading into Thursday morning. Plan on a wet commute. Could hear some rumbles of thunder at times also, as we could have some thunderstorms pop on up as this front sinks southeast. But that front lifts back north again, keeping temperatures up for Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon. Shower chances build in for Friday also. Not expecting a lot of rain, but not ruling out the chance for some showers and thunderstorms. The better opportunity for rain will build in late on Saturday. Plan on that staying with us through a lot of Sunday. And then finally, we cool down by Sunday afternoon and into next week. It'll feel a little more fall-like for folks that are waiting for some cooler weather. Again, temperatures right now in the low 80s. Overnight lows will stay in the 60s as that line starts to come on in for tomorrow morning. We could have some heavier rain at times, and some stronger wind gusts at times also, with some of those thunderstorms, of course. In the afternoon on Thursday, temperatures will be back in the 80s. Heading into Friday morning, we yet again stay in the 60s, and there's going to be the chance for showers and thunderstorms to pop up for Friday afternoon. Overall, this rain coming through likely going to be around 1/2 inch for much of the area, but some spots where we could see some heavier rain, or if those thunderstorms start trailing each other, could get closer to 1 inch or 1.25 inches. Likely going to see higher accumulation totals off to the west. So not a major rain event, but through the day on Thursday, we could pick up a little extra on top of what has already been a bit of a wet month. Our month so far, we've picked up just over 3.5 inches of rain, and we should be closer to about 3 1/10. So we're already above average. Of course, that's thanks to some really big numbers like on the 12th and the 10th, where we picked up almost 2 inches and almost 1 inch of rainfall. And the rain coming through tonight, we'll just add on top of that. Looking at the next few hours, our temperatures will fall through the 60s with our overnight lows. Our breeze will calm down a little bit overnight. Again, right now those wind speeds are in the teens. Plan on our breeze anywhere from 6 to 12 miles per hour. Temperatures stay in the 60s overnight. Pretty mild night, some patchy fog possible as those temperatures will fall close to our dew points, and the chance for showers and thunderstorms develop after midnight. Tomorrow afternoon, we're back in the 80s. Plan on another humid day, probably even a little more humid than today with that moisture coming in. The chance for showers early, and another chance really later in the day. Chance for showers and thunderstorms also on Friday. Temps will be back in the 80s. On Saturday, we'll be in the upper 70s, so we'll fall back a little bit. Both Saturday and Sunday will be mostly cloudy outside, with showers and thunderstorms. Humid on Saturday. Sunday, we fall to the low 70s, and that's where we'll stay heading into the start of next week. In the mid to low 70s is really where we should be, too. Mostly sunny on Monday. A chance for showers and thunderstorms to develop late on Tuesday, and a slight chance on Wednesday. Notice by Thursday and Friday, though, our afternoon highs really start to fall into the 60s, and those overnight lows will fall back as well into the 50s. So the descent is starting. Heading into next week.
Look at that, it's slipping down.
It is heading down.
Yeah.
We're just going to let it chill out in the 60s for a little bit. We don't want that drop off to happen too soon.
Yeah, but we're hanging on to the scene behind us with the terrace chairs.
Oh,
for the
you're right
meantime.
about that.
Get
Yeah.
your last terrace chair in.
Really, yes. While it's still nice and sunny.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Dana.
Yep.
So there has been a scientific breakthrough that may eventually allow many blind people to see.
A handful of volunteers are already seeing results 18 months into a 5-year clinical study. Jonathan Vigliotti shows us how a new device is changing lives.
Hope for Jason Esterhuizen was that one day he might see again. The South African lost his sight in a car accident when he was just 23 years old.
Lost control of the car hit the curb, and I just hit the steering wheel and the window and went out the sunroof.
Injuries from the crash left Jason in a world of total darkness.
I think in the first couple of years of being blind, it was just you have to accept the fact that you're blind.
Until a friend of his heard about a clinical trial only for people who could once see but became blind, starting half a world away at the University of California, Los Angeles.
It's a brand new device. It's never been used in humans before.
Dr. Nader Paradian leads the study of an experimental device called the Orion. Here's how it works. Using a camera attached to a pair of sunglasses, Orion captures images a person would see and sends it through a handheld device to an implant that's been surgically inserted into the visual part of the brain. The implant then turns those images into dots of light that the patient can see.
It can be various shapes. It could be a circle. It could be an oval. It can be a moving line.
Jason is one of only 6 people in the world who qualified for the study and to receive the implant.
The first time that I saw a little white dot, I was speechless.
While not restoring sight in the traditional sense, what he can see are flashes of light.
If I look around, I can perceive movement, I can see sun, light and dark. I can tell you whether a line is vertical, horizontal, or at a 45-degree angle. There we go.
The device not only allowed Jason to regain a small part of his vision, but some true independence.
I cook, I clean, I can take out the trash, I can sort laundry. But just the darks are from the lights, no color yet.
In fact, this study has gone so well in Jason's case that sometimes even he doesn't realize how amazing it's been.
This is a very dark dive bar. The bartender was wearing a white shirt, and I just saw 2 little dots lighting up, and then 3, and then 5, and then she was right in front of me, and she was all shiny. And I thought, wow, that's cool.
A glimpse into the future that could give countless people a second chance at sight. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Los Angeles.
It's amazing technology.
Unbelievable.
It really is.
Yeah.
When we come back, the emerald ash borer has been an ongoing battle, as you know, in the Madison area.
And extreme weather could be making it worse. Climate change may be helping dozens of invasive insects kill large swaths of our nation's forests. We'll look into a new report when Live at 4 continues. Look at all the boats out at the terrace still. We are looking live from the Edgewater Skycam at the lake there. A beautiful day to get out if you have a boat. Usually by this time we're putting them away, but maybe not quite yet.
Good day to be on the terrace.
Yeah,
today.
no kidding. So this week, CBS News is joining several other news organizations to highlight global warming issues ahead of a landmark United Nations Climate Action Summit happening next week.
Tom Hansen shows us how climate change is helping tiny creatures invade our forests.
This one in particular.
Forester Jason Denham is fighting an invasion that's killing trees across the Northeast.
We're looking for a teensy tiny little black pepper speck with a fringe of white around it right now.
The hemlock woolly adelgid is hard to see with the naked eye.
Not out on the needle, but right near the base.
But the tiny invasive species of insect is having a gigantic impact from Georgia to Maine, threatening delicate ecosystems that rely on the hemlock tree.
How bad has the problem gotten?
So right now, hemlock woolly adelgid is present in about half of New York State.
From the hemlock woolly adelgid to the emerald ash borer to the mountain pine beetle, invasive insects are killing large swaths of our nation's forests. And according to a new report, extreme weather events linked to climate change, like droughts and flooding, make the problem even worse.
That becomes an additional stress on those trees, and they are more likely to succumb and die when they're infested. Eventually they rot, and that carbon dioxide is released back into the atmosphere.
A recent study from Purdue University shows invasive pests kill so many trees each year, it's equal to 5 million car emissions. The study also estimates that, if unchecked, invasive insects could eventually kill off a staggering 41% of trees in the continental U.S. Denham and teams at the New York Department of Environmental Conservation are doing what they can to save the trees, spraying insecticides and releasing natural enemies of the insects. It's a high-stakes battle.
There will still be life here when these hemlock trees are gone, but it won't be the same place.
He hopes to prevent a shattering blow to the habitat for the countless species living in the shade of the hemlocks. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Ulster County, New York.
More than 430 non-native insects and diseases have invaded American forests. That's according to the U.S. Forest Service.
A little scary there.
And Lisa Briggs was just telling us that some of these are not here yet.
Yeah.
So that's good news for us.
Yeah, crossing our fingers they don't make it here.
That's right.
Speaking of Lisa Briggs, she is here with us today from the Bruce Company, joining us when we come back.
Lisa is going to get us through the long winter, right, Lisa? By preparing bulbs now to bloom later this year. We'll tell you how when Live at 4 continues.
No accidents to report right now. As always, that is a good thing. But as we look at the Beltline at Park Street, westbound's actually going a little slower than usual. Eastbound, about the same spot as usual, actually. A lot of construction, of course, throughout southern Wisconsin. Those speeds on the eastbound side, fine close to Gammon Road, but the closer you get to Fish Hatch, down to the teens. Although westbound side, we also have speeds down to the 20s and 30s. So a little bit slower moving, but things do pick back up the closer you get to 151. Downtown on the Isthmus, things don't look too bad at this time. Around Prairie du Sac, all is good. Sauk City, though, of course, heading into downtown, everything's reduced down to just one lane. So traffic is getting just a little backed up. From Janesville to the Beltline, still at 27 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and the drive from Sun Prairie to downtown a little longer than usual, about 19 minutes this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thanks so much. One of Washington, D.C.'s most iconic buildings will reopen to the public. The Washington Monument's been closed to the public for much of the last decade. This after a rare earthquake in 2011 and issues with the elevators. The city's centerpiece will reopen tomorrow, but you do need tickets to get to the top. The National Park Service will allow just over 100 people to take that ride to the top each hour.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to have flowers blooming in January or February, you want to start planting bulbs this month.
It's the time of year when you can force bulbs indoors, a term Susan and I just learned today. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here to show us how. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Okay, so lots of times customers will come in January and February and they will see little pots of bulbs in the grocery store and the garden center, and they want to know when they can buy tulip bulbs.
Right.
But that's a fall thing. So now is when they're in all the garden centers and you have the best selection. You can buy, these are tulip bulbs, these are crocus bulbs, all kinds of things. And if you're gonna plant them outside, you really wanna wait until the temperature starts to cool a little bit after the first frost.
Okay.
But you can do what we call forcing, which is tricking them into thinking they've been through winter, because these bulbs need a chill period or stratification, which is a time when it's below 40 degrees. Most bulbs need 12 to 16 weeks. The easiest ones to do are the ones in water. So this is just any old jar. There are special forcing vases, but any jar that you have that will have some height, so it'll support the bulb and keep it from dropping off, because there's no soil in here.
Sure.
Some rocks or some glass or marbles or something, so that it's about an inch or two above the bottom of the container. And then you fill the water up just to the top, or up to the top of the rocks.
Okay.
So that gives a space, a reservoir for the roots to grow, and then the bulb will sprout. So this is a hyacinth. This would need to be in your fridge for 3 months before you could do this. There are, though, closer to the holidays, lots of bulbs that you can do this with right away, like paper whites. Everybody does paper whites. You can do them like this. You can also do those beautiful amaryllis in water, and there's no chilling period with those.
It's pretty just like this, isn't it?
I know,
Yes, yes.
It's really cool.
So then you can move on, though, to something which is a little bit trickier, which is forcing them in pots.
Okay.
So they don't need a lot of soil. The taller the bulb flower will be, the deeper the pot. So you put a couple inches of soil in the bottom.
These are tulips?
These are tulips, and you nestle them right in there, and they can go pretty low. And then you would...
Thus the forcing?
Yes, yeah, force them. And then you put a little bit of soil over this. And then what you can do for combinations is then you can take what we would call a minor bulb, like a crocus, and then put some crocuses, like right in between, and then cover this with soil.
Okay.
And then this needs to go into a cool place.
How cool?
So 40 degrees, 40 to 45. Once the temperatures start to cool around here, like in a cooler in your garage where it's not going to freeze, is really good. Scott at our plant desk has them in his fridge.
Oh, okay.
He says that his partner thinks that he's the only person in the world where there's more pots of dirt in his fridge than actual food. If you're one of those lucky people who have an extra fridge downstairs that you put beer in, I think this is better than beer. So this would be in there for, again, 3 to 4 months, 12 to 16 weeks. And so if you started now, then that means like mid-January, you would take these out, water them, put them in light and heat, and they will sprout and you will have flowers.
So you don't have to water them at all during the chill period?
No, you don't. And I would say, too, that when you force bulbs, either in water or like this, it is difficult to replant them later.
Okay.
So if they're in water, they're done. throw them away when they're done.
Sure.
If they are in soil like this, you can put them in your garden, but it's going to be a couple years before they have enough energy to reform flower buds.
Do all bulbs need a chilling period?
No. Tropical bulbs, like I said, like narcissus or amaryllis, do not. But most of the things that we think of as spring flowering bulbs, tulips, crocus, daffodils, all that kind of stuff, yes, they all need a chill period.
A fun project with the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it now,
though.
though.
Then it's a reward in the
Yeah,
winter.
exactly.
Yes, and if you stop in the store, we have like charts that will show you with written instructions, so you can go ahead and get some, lovely smelling hyacinths in your kitchen window in February.
Little aromatherapy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, thank you, Lisa. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
And we'll be right back. Another warm night outside.
Yeah, no kidding.
Warm, a little muggy outside right now. The clouds are really starting to build in for us, actually, as we take a live look from our WISC-TV sky cam. Still quite a bit of sunshine, but getting a little cloudy, especially off to the west. You can see on our visible cloud track that cloud coverage starting to come on in. We'll have shower chances later on tonight. Right now, just warm. 81 in Madison and in Camp Douglas, 82 in Boscobel. About 81 in La Crosse, too, with those dew points near 70 for most of the area. It's a little humid, a little breezy, and a little rainy after midnight and for your Thursday morning.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot, Dana. Are we going to do tomorrow?
I think
yes,
so.
we are. Okay, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4. We'll find out what's coming up this weekend in Weekend 6 to 8.
And fashion expert Shayna Mace is here with some fashion tips for the fall. That's coming up tomorrow, and we will be right back.